is that we would not have been here, you would not have been coming to this court for 5 years.
No, you brought me wrongly here. And you know that. Either you want to build your career with my name, using my name, and destroy my reputation, and destroy the future of my children and my wife. You know very well that you brought me here wrongly. Look at all the 19 statements that you have led before this court. No one can associate me with any wrongdoing. I cannot regret having done nothing wrong. I possessed a toy. It requires no license. It requires nobody's permission for me to use it at any time. Well, if that was a requirement, I would have complied with the law. Like the person you brought here of the job, who said, this was the best team ever, the most disciplined and highly cooperative.
Mr. Malema, may I request that we maintain the mutual respect we had for one another since the beginning of this trial up to now.
What do you mean by that?
Just a request that I'm having.
What do you mean by that? You brought me here for 6 years for no issue. And that is not disrespectful. It's robust, but it's not disrespectful. I'm being honest. You have put this court in this predicament because you could have taken a decision when you took over the case. When the first prosecutor left, you could have taken over the case and made a decision on your own independently and objectively. You refused to do that. It was you in the argument of 174 who said, had you known the facts you know now about Larry Mabunda, you would have charged him. That on its own should have told you there is something wrong here. And as an objective prosecutor, declined to proceed with something that has got loopholes. I'm not being disrespectful, Your Worship. I'm being honest. And I'm telling my truth as I see it.
In hindsight, this idea of having this particular demonstration at the particular stadium, Mr. Malema, what I'm trying to say to you is that if that was discussed with Job, it would have been easily resolved that this was indeed a toy firearm, as you claim that you used on the night in question.
My brother, there was no need because no license is required, no permission is required. You have not led any evidence that suggests there was a need for a permission to be acquired before you use a toy gun. Police officers in their different ranks, including some aspects who came here, they've made it very clear. You require no license to use a toy.
On the video, when you actually went to go perform your act, one can count 7 people from that specific video, just from the video. I'm not talking about what's going on next to and behind.
But if this court is going to allow you to say such things, then I'm not going to answer. Because there's no 7 people who can be counted there. 7 people.
On the far right, those people that we said.
No, you're saying people in front of me, there are no 7 people there. There are a lot of people there.
On the far right, sir, on the videos it's standing there where you went to go perform this specific act. What we count there, the ones that moved away are 7.
I never went to perform this there. I never. I performed this in front of the stage, and that which you see at the end of the pitch is not the front of the stage. That will be misleading to the court. I'm in front of the stage. Those people are not in front of the stage. That's why the videos are misleading. They make you see people as if they are at one place. They are not at one place. If you play this, you will see the corner of that stage. And that corner of the stage was not reaching the end of the pitch. It was in the middle of the pitch. Those people he keeps on referring to, they are almost at the fence that divides the grandstand and the pitch. They are not in front of the stage, those people. The people who are at the front of the stage are the ones I was showing Your Worship on the screen. Those are the people who are in front of the stage.
Why didn't you just fire towards their direction as they are standing there?
It's none of your business. It's my business where I fire from. It's my event. I can even fire under the stage if you so wish. I decide how I'm going to perform it. It's none of your business. You have no business with how EFF conducts its business. As long as it's lawful and it doesn't violate any law, where do you come in? Unganaphi?
Mr. Malema, the only logical explanation as to why you did that is because you knew that those firearms were indeed real firearms that you've used there.
An incompetent, incoherent, inferior prosecution is what you are trying to prove here. An abuse of power. You will not win with me. This act can be performed anywhere. I can even go and perform it on the grandstand if you wish. Anywhere. There's no prescription by the law. That's why I'm asking you, where do you come in? There's no law that says you must perform it here, not there. Perform it there, not there. I can go anywhere I want to do this, where it will have a maximum impact, where it will not drown in the crowd. I will still perform it. Your Worship, everything that required a permission of the JOG went past the JOG. And who is the witness for us here? Is the JOG person who came here and said they were the most compliant, disciplined people I've ever dealt with, and had very good words to say about our Secretary General.
Thank you. You also testified regarding the bodyguards that have always been present.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes.
You still haven't been able to establish the name of the bodyguard that you showed yesterday on the video footage.
You can ask me the name, I will give it to you with ease.
Do you know it?
Yes, Kari. Warrant Officer Kari. Khari. There were actually two. The other one is Chauke.
I'm still busy with the
Oh.
KHI.
Khari.
And the second one?
Chauke. Chauke, C-H-A. Okay.
You also said that if there was anything untoward, they would have acted on that stadium if that was indeed a real firearm. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and my witness is, I don't know what you call him, Colonel Swart Boy, who said in his evidence in chief here that had something happened wrongly in front of those people, they had a duty to take an action against him. I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting him verbatim.
Mr. Malema, these statements was read relating to the bodyguards were read to Colonel Swartboy when he was testifying. I'm going to go through it again. The one of Andile Kume.
Yes.
He states that I hereby states in English under oath, he gives his rank as a sergeant in the South African Police Service. He's stationed at the Protection Security Services in East London. He hereby confirms, unless the context, I don't want to read through the legalities, I just want to go to the crux of his statement if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's A65. I'm going to start with the fifth paragraph from the top, where it says that my colleague and I, known as Sergeant Nzelani, also stationed at the Protection Security Services London, was at East London Airport on 21st July 2018, awaiting the arrival of Mr. Malema and his dignitaries. 3 colleagues from the National Protection Security Officers, known as Collins, Chauke, and Gary, joined us at the East London Airport on the mentioned date. On 28 July 2018, I was the leading vehicle alone, with Collins driving Mr. Malema, Julius Malema, and Sergeant Zelani and Kari as the backup vehicle. We departed from the Julius Malema accommodation to the Sisa Dukasha Stadium, Dansani, East London, and stated in the above formation. On our arrival at the stadium, myself and Sergeant Zelani were not allowed into the designated stage area and remained outside. During the evening late, we were allowed inside the designated area where the detailed vehicles was parked. At no stage did I witness any shooting or enter the stage area. He said I issued with a Glock 9mm. I don't think the remainder of that paragraph is relevant to whatever, but he says that at no stage did he enter that area or the stadium.
We'll have to read it again. I mean, you are the one who's reading it. He says, were later allowed into the designated, and then you say, after reading that, you say, he says, at no stage was he ever allowed. He says, were later allowed into the designated area, and I've not seen anything wrong.
Where the vehicles was parked. He didn't say on the stage, he says where the vehicles was parked.
Your worship, were not allowed in the designated area. Later were allowed into the designated area. So where were the cars parked all along? Where?
Can I ask
Because
you?
the story is that once they drop you off, you go around the stage. Both the driver of the main car and the backup car will now take the cars right behind the stage. Because as part of protection protocols, is that in a case of danger, you must be rescued from the stage right into the car and escape. Or you're going to be rescued into the car when you still have to run to the parking and there is some bus which has blocked your car. Always, the VIP cars are parked in a manner that, in a way, without saying, they're preparing escape. That's why when they arrive, they might be facing the direction opposite the gate, but they will have to turn them around to face the gate. Because when the need for the escape comes, there will not be time to turn the cars around. They must always be in a state of readiness for escape.
Can I ask you, Mr. Malema, where was these cars parked?
Behind the stage.
Behind.
Yes, behind the stage. And Your Worship, I mentioned to you 2 names of all the 5 that were there. I mentioned to you 2 names, that of Kari and Chauke, that they were on the stage. There might be 5, out of 5 of them, 2 ordinarily will be drivers. It will be a driver of the main car and a driver of the backup. And the rest of the 3 deploy each other, position themselves in such a way that they don't lose contact with the body. Yes. And Your Worship, if you were to ask me who were the drivers, like the names he's reading from the Eastern Cape, I don't know them. Police just tell me when you arrive, you're going to find a VIP protection at the airport, and then these are other 3 VIP protectors with you. So the reason why Chauke and Kari are known to me is because before East London, they've been on my body for quite some time. I don't have to know them. They are subs. They are men of cloth. They are trustworthy. As long as they are known to the principals and the principals say to me, this is what goes on, my job is to comply and trust subs with those responsibilities.
If this person was in the area where he says he was, cars parked, as you stated, behind the stadium, could he have witnessed, I'm asking you, could he have witnessed what transpired if the shots were fired on the stage, if he was where he say he was?
A policeman has got ears of a dog. If a firearm was to be shot here, policemen by their instinct will hear there's something wrong. And they will dare to follow up as to, are we still on course or is there a problem? So as a VIP protector, had he had things that are funny and intimidating, surely he was going to pay attention, to look at the direction of his colleagues, to see if there is danger coming so that he can prepare himself. He was not sleepy. He doesn't say in that statement he was sleeping.
Could he have seen, if he was in that area where the cars were parked behind the stadium, could he have seen if those shots were fired when it was fired?
Your Worship, I wouldn't know. But the fact of the matter is the police officer was there with me, right next to the stage where I was, looking after the cars, whereas his colleagues were with me on the stage.
He says he didn't see anything.
I can't be bothered by police. I have to deliver a 2-hour speech at that time. That's what goes through my head. My security, who does what, it is their duty. They get paid for that. I get paid for giving a speech. Let's all do our jobs. It's not my job to look at where police are and what they are doing. They will give a report if something goes wrong with that body, which they are assigned to look after. So you now want to make me a supervisor of police. I must now look after them instead of them looking after me. It's not my duty.
If I understood your evidence correctly yesterday, was that 4 police bodyguards were always with you. You even said when you go to the toilet, these people will be with you.
I've never said 4 bodyguards were always with me. I said these are bodyguards and they are assigned to a body. When you go to a toilet, they are there. It can't be all 4 of them. Obvious. I mean, they assign each other's responsibilities. I was just saying to the court, I had subs with me. As to which one was in the car, which one was on the stage, their pocketbook will tell. But subs was there. Your Worship, I'm also subjected to the same process where I throw my name and people still have to vote for me to go to Parliament, members and branches of the EFF. By virtue of being its president, it's not automatic that I will go to Parliament. After being elected in an elective conference of the EFF, when elections come, like they happened now, we go to what we call a list conference. And all those who have interest to go to Parliament gets voted by those people in the list conference of the EFF.
Some of the people on that stage, are they also your close friends, personal friends?
There's no close friend or personal friend of mine. I'm the only child with no parents. I don't know what a close friend is. Many of them I regarded as close friends sold me out. So I play nowhere close to that concept of a close friend. I came alone. I will leave alone.
Would you regard the persons coming to support you for your cases as friends?
They are not friends. These are my comrades. This is the leadership of the EFF.
I want to put it to you, Mr. Malema, that it's highly unlikely that any of those people that is on that stage would have reported you or would have laid a charge against you as you want to claim that they should have come forward.
What stops them? Your worship, what stops a senior counsel to report me? What will I do to a senior counsel? These are not laymen. These are not job seekers. These are not my garden boys and domestic workers. I'm giving you an example of a senior counsel, well-seasoned senior counsel. If he wants to create an impression that they were scared of me, why would the senior counsel be scared of me? The person who sings, who's leading the song, by the way, with a microphone, is a doctor. It's a PhD doctor, a thinker of note. It's no layman.
Mr. Malema, let's just get this out of it. You are indeed a very accomplished and an esteemed politician. Can we agree that much?
You can't take that away from me.
Yes. For anybody to just come and lay a charge against you might not just be an easy task.
Why did the police officer do it when a senior counsel can't do it because he's scared of me? A mere police officer. Whatever power I have, which I would have exercised on a senior counsel, what about an ordinary police officer? It's not true, that assertion.
Your evidence? Your evidence was that reason why all this was decided upon was to put up a show and to entertain the crowd. Is that correct?
Yes.
In both videos, on all three videos basically that was played, can you confirm that you're moving away from the people that's actually standing in the crowd towards the far right of the stage, the end of that stage?
Absolutely.
Why would you do that if you were there to entertain the crowd and put up a show?
Well, when you are about to make an act, you have to isolate yourself so that people can see what you are doing. You don't drown in the crowd. Let's take the 10th anniversary of the EFF and the FNB. If you look at that video, I move away from the leadership and I'm alone there in front, and then the stage takes me up alone. It doesn't take me with everyone because it's an act that must be performed by that actor. If we grow up watching movies and not bioscopes, we will understand how movies work.
Is it correct that the act that you're just talking about now, you said you moved to the front?
Yes.
In order so people can see you right there in the front.
Yes.
And the stage is now going to go up.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Why didn't you do it here
The,
in this instance?
the stage is designed differently. If you look at that stage of the FNB, it has got a platform where everybody is seated, and then it has got a runaway. So you move from this crowd, you go as if you are going forward, alone on a runaway. Somewhere you stop there, in the middle of the runaway, the stage goes up. That was different stage to what you see now. Here, these ones are going to be singing on the middle of the stage, and then you will go on the side of the stage to perform the act, so that the act does not get drowned by many people who are on the stage. It's a lead actor. Steering.
What's the point then of that if you have to go right to the corner of that stage where very few people could actually observe what you are about to do?
But you are not there, you don't know if very few people can see what I'm about to do. One. Two, your own witnesses who came here told you they had cameras which were beaming us into big screens of that stadium, on the stage and everywhere else. So you are of no authority to come here and say very few people can see me. You were not there, I was there. And I can tell you the act was carried properly the way it was designed and was viewed by the people that we were targeting in that stadium. So no few people viewed that act. Cameras, by the way, your worship, are there for that purpose. Where there is a need for an act to be zoomed into a bigger screen, people should be able to see, because ordinarily as the crowds, as many people, some will be at the far end. So even if you are to perform it right at the center of the stage, without cameras and the screens, a lot of people may not see what you are doing. That's why we've got cameras and we've got big screens. So it doesn't matter from where you are, you will be picked up, especially if this is designed to be part of the act. Everything else you see happening there is calculated. If you go and look at that stage of the EFF going up at the FNB, I dropped the mic. That mic did not disappear. Someone knew the mic is going to be dropped and is going to capture it from the ground and put it safe. Everything is well calculated and designed to be the way it was.
Where was the majority of the supporters and the people standing when you were performing that act?
In front of the stage.
Are you able to estimate how many were in front of the stage? You can make a rough estimation.
I said 20,000 yesterday.